I'm going to give two testimonials tonight, if that's all right. So I'm going to start with my oldest son, 21 years old, former left-handed pitcher, was a late bloomer. So they changed his arm slot because smart kid, great athlete, thought he could play professionally, and he was throwing from a very difficult spot. Ended up growing pretty quickly, had some issues with his elbow, his shoulder, ended up going to the University of Mississippi, was playing baseball there, and just his body couldn't handle anymore. And so he stopped playing and he's coaching. Well, he got into very serious health and fitness about 2 years ago, and it put everyone in the family on different plans, both for their fitness and what they ate and the things that we consumed, et cetera, et cetera. But during this process, he just he couldn't get rid of the pain that he had in his shoulder and his back, and so he was becoming quite a weightlifter as well, and then he just couldn't do it anymore. So he lost 40 pounds of pure muscle, and just can't go to the gym. Hasn't been really to the gym in about 8 months or so. If you guys are familiar with Aaron Rodgers, old Packers quarterback and Jets quarterback, he made something called BCP 157 peptide injections popular. It's never been approved. People think it's unsafe. More and more technology came out. It's okay, right? It's not going to hurt anybody. Well, Jackson started doing this for himself because he didn't know about this patch. He didn't see that there was an option like this, and he started taking these injections and didn't get any results for about 4 weeks. And then the first of this month, so February 1st, 25 days ago, he went on the patch. And we weren't expecting really quick results, but literally within 3 days, he started feeling changes. Within 10 days, he started lifting very light weights again. So part of what he has is thoracic outlet syndrome, which is a nerve thing that's affecting the chest and the neck. And he hasn't seen relief there, but he's throwing a baseball, he's throwing a football 50 yards 100 times again, no pain. And it's incredible, right? For a young man like that who is an athlete, a fitness guy, to go through something like that, especially at such a young age, is really hard to see, and it affected him so dramatically. And over the last 3 weeks, it's just a massive change, and he loves it. I've got mine on my hand here, just like Ken does. And again, he's a baseball coach, and Jackson's his name. He wears it on his hand, and he has kids asking him all the time. He has parents asking him all the time, "What is that?" And Jackson eventually will come into this business. Like, there's no doubt about it. He's very much a number one at this point in time, but just tremendous results. At the same time, I had the pleasure of meeting Ken, maybe, I don't know, 5 weeks ago, something like that, not too long ago, through a mutual friend of ours. And I was looking at it based on the recommendation of our friend, who literally died twice. His heart stopped, and thankfully he was in a place where there was a defibrillator. They shocked him back. He went in the ambulance, died again. They shocked him again. And this man is older than both Ken and I by a significant amount. He's 25 years older than me. And he was going through recovery, and it was slow. And he had worked with Ken in the past, and Ken mentioned the patch to him, and unbelievable results. So I was talking to this gentleman, and we were talking about business and networking. And he said, man, I can't believe I haven't introduced you to Ken before. So we start talking about this, and I was a one. My wife was a one. We're thinking, oh, this is a great thing to do for our family and our friends. And if you can make the business side of it work, and I tell you, anybody on this call, the business side can work, and this team is incredible. I've owned several businesses. I've managed other businesses for people. The setup that they have is phenomenal. But that's not the testimonial I'm giving right now. But it's the truth. So um, anyway, for me, I also started on February 1st. So it's only been 25 days. Even though I saw the potential and I was a number one, I was skeptical. I didn't expect to be a one patch wonder and get these results. Um, but I did. I did. And just under 18 months ago, I live in Sarasota, Florida, so a little bit south of Ken. And my business was up in Elkhart, Indiana. And I was in Elkhart about 18 months ago for an extended trip, about 10 days or so. And one of my partners was sick, and he got me sick. And it got progressively worse and worse. I had some really bad neck pains. I thought maybe I had meningitis. And so I decided to go to um, the urgent care and walk in to the urgent care. It's late at night, and they tell me, "Yeah, you know what? There's really not much we can do for you right now, but come back in the morning." Okay, so I come back in the morning, and they take me back right away. And the nurse checks my blood pressure, and she takes a step back, and she says, "How did you get here?" And I said, "I drove." So what do you mean you drove? I said, I got in my car and I drove. And she said, your blood pressure is 265 over 145. And I said, what? I'd never had a blood pressure issue in my life. And she said, you need to go to the emergency room right now. She said, I'm going to call an ambulance. I'm like, I'm fine. I feel fine. I'll just drive. Well, I probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. Got to the emergency room, brought me in, hooked me up to every machine possible, injected me with something to, get the blood pressure down. My blood pressure rose to 280 over 155. And the doctor came in, he said, Jason, I'm not sure how or why you're alive. And so obviously that got my attention. So I never had an issue before, didn't realize anything was wrong with my heart. I'm an athlete, I eat well, I'm fit, but there was just something there. So for the last 18 months, I've been able to have my blood pressure under control. Did find out that I had two other issues with my heart, both manageable, but again, a lot of medication. The one thing I wasn't able to do was get my blood pressure normal. It's under control, but it's hypertension stage 1, which, again, with the other issues going on in my heart, not a great place to be. So, what do you want to do? I want to fix that. Third day into the patch, my blood pressure went into the normal range for the first time in 18 months. For 10 consecutive days, my blood pressure continued to go down. I just took my blood pressure before we got on this call so I could tell you guys it's 122 over 78. Yes, not quite perfect, but it is in the normal zone and near ideal. And again, I don't know what else this patch is going to do, but to have those early returns, and I'll tell you guys right now, is the most stressful time in my life. With the 21-year-old son going through what he's going through. I've got another kid in college, another one who's being recruited to play Division I baseball. And then the baby in our family is trying to figure out where she wants to go to school. So we've got all this stuff going on. And then 2 weeks ago, we find out that my wife has cancer. And 7 days ago, we find out that she has a very aggressive form of cancer. And she's also on the patch. And she says she is feeling great. She's got less anxiety. She's able to manage everything. And my blood pressure staying the same. So it's, again, I apologize for the length there and everything, but just fabulous results for us, and we're super super happy. And our goal, our mission here is very clear, to get this patch on as many people that we possibly can.
Wow. Well, first of all, as I said before, we're praying for Laura, and I believe everybody in this call is going to be praying for Laura as well.
Thank you.
And God's going to answer that prayer. He's going to help crush this thing out of her with his power and his might in Jesus' name. And with the help of this patch, because we've seen miracles with people who have had cancer with this patch. But we
Yep.
know God is even bigger than the patch, you know. And
Amen.
so thank you, Jason, for bringing hope to us all, and in relation to just another example of what this amazing patch can do. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. And tell Laura we love her, and
Absolutely.
excited for her future that we're praying for every day. My wife and I are, Diana. So we appreciate that. And I'm sure everybody in this call is going to be praying for her as well.
Yep. Thanks again, Ken.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you.